Quite the story with the U.S. election last night, and it is having implications on the business world. Let's bring in our business editor, Ari Rabinovitch, now. And Ari, Trump's win is having a major impact on the markets.
Yeah, it looks like it was for pretty much a lot of good news in terms of how investors felt about it. Now, it's hard to really put a pulse on exactly what investors were thinking, but what we essentially saw was a lot of record highs, especially on Wall Street, where the Dow Jones had its best day in 2 years, and it gained more than 1,500 points. To put that in perspective, that's the most that the Dow Jones has, the highest amount of points that the Dow Jones has gained, the fifth most in history, in fact. And big gains continued, including on Bay Street. There was a bit of a ripple effect. So there were maybe two underlying themes here, including that maybe the expectations that a Trump presidency could mean lower regulations and taxes, maybe in the banking sector especially, that could benefit things. More mergers and acquisitions will be approved, or at least they won't be blocked. While it may also be the sense of closure that investors felt today, because there was a real clear path forward for exactly who will be in the White House next year. There was a lot of volatility in the weeks leading up to the election, so maybe a combination of those two mindsets. But there are also some risks to a Trump presidency, which flies in the face of some of the big market performance today on Wall Street especially, including the idea of tariffs, something that Donald Trump has run on many times in his campaign, about a 10% tariff for all goods entering the United States. And Cynthia, economists stress that this kind of strategy is likely to be inflationary. So that could mean that interest rates will stay higher for longer. They could even go up again to bring inflation back down. And with that in mind, investors, especially on Wall Street, those who buy stocks, don't want interest rates to go up. So it's a little bit unusual to see if the idea is that Trump presidency might be better for stockholders, but that at the same time it might work against those gains if interest rates stay high. But it's all in speculation at this point. We don't really know what's going to happen.
Definitely. All right. Now, there are a few stocks in particular, Ari, that are really seeing a big bounce today.
Yeah, so we'll talk first about, of course, the big elephant in the room, Trump Media and Technology Group. Today it gained 6%. And interestingly enough, Cynthia, yesterday after the closing bell, and just before we found out that Trump was actually declared the winner, the company actually reported quarterly earnings, something that doesn't happen very often. So very interesting timing. In fact, Trump Media said that it actually saw a net loss last quarter of $19 million on only $1 million in revenue. And in the first 9 months of this year, the company has lost $363 million. Although it's not expected to be profitable as of yet, it still shows that it's struggling to stay profitable, considering it has a market cap of several $billion. And with Donald Trump's majority stake in the company, his net worth has also about doubled to $6.5 billion. It goes without saying that Donald Trump is now officially the richest person to ever enter the White House. Another stock that saw green today was Tesla. That was up by more than 14%. No real earnings news, but of course CEO Elon Musk is an outspoken supporter of Donald Trump. The president-elect has even hinted on several occasions that Musk may even have a role in his administration. But what that's going to look like, Cynthia, is really unclear at this point. But investors felt, hey, maybe now's a good time to buy Tesla.
Definitely. And Ari, we're almost out of time, but there are millions of Americans who aren't celebrating Trump's victory, and some might even be looking to make a run for the border.
Yeah, well, I got no room in my house, Cynthia. I don't know about yours, but yes, they found this out from Google today that Google Trends noted the word "move to Canada" in the search field hit peak popularity at around 6 a.m. today, as many woke to the news of Donald Trump's win. Other related queries that over the past 24 hours hit breakout status, Google defines that as search volume increasing by more than 5,000%, include the searches "cost to move to Canada from U.S., can I move to Canada if Trump wins, how to move to Ireland from U.S., easiest country to move to from USA, and jobs in Canada for Americans," Cynthia. And it's also worth noting that those searches mostly came from areas where Harris won or was poised to win.
That makes sense. Ari, as always, thanks very much. Good to see you.
You too, Cynthia.